Welcome back to Sunrise DDS. We're talking football now with Ida Peterside, former Nigerian international. Good morning and good to see you again. Thanks for joining us today on the program.
Oh, good to see you and good to see you again.
Oh,
you know, it's been a while. We thought you went to the moon.
I wish. Yeah, I always thank God for saving me, man. It was a great feeling. So let's talk football now. I mean, are you one of those who perhaps think or any glimmer of thought that maybe the Super Eagles may find their way to the World Cup even after losing out with the qualifications?
Well, it depends. It depends. We've gone through the back road once, and I think it is possible to go through the back door again. The rules are the rules. You know, sometimes it is not about Nigeria or DRC Congo that we are protesting against. It is the rules of the game. You know, what are the rules of the game? If you have the DRC constitution does not allow anyone to have two passports. So it's already illegal, except there's a presidential pardon or a presidential fiat that says so players or so should be allowed to carry two passports. Outside that, the rules are the rules. And then it means that the players do not belong to the country they're playing for. It's as simple as that. And then how did they get the passports? Because firstly, when you move from a different country, they give you clearance. FIFA would do that because you need permission if you've played for the under-17s, 20 and 21. To be able to play for another country, you need a clearance. Those players got the clearance, but they have a law, they have a rule. It happened to one of my people here that wanted to travel because they had a dual nationality. It was difficult for them to do that. So the rules are the rules. But well, for me, I've always said that we should have qualified from the front door, but not the back door. But if you're in trouble and you're in danger and you need to escape and the back door is open for you, so you have to go to it.
Well, what about those who say at this point in time, the back door has been slammed shut because they say that there's a narrative from FIFA saying FIFA does not operate based on the country's rules or laws, that FIFA operates based on their own laws, and according to them, they cleared those players, they didn't violate any FIFA rule whatsoever, and so they stand qualified.
Well, the final decision will be made. FIFA has not said anything yet. It is the Congolese that are insinuating, that are interpreting the law on behalf of FIFA. Therefore, we have to wait for FIFA to give the final answer. So whatever the answer is, we'll accept it. Again, it's quite unfortunate that we have to go through this process, beg to get into World Cup, you know, maneuver ourselves, write appeals and write letters, when it is so easy to win the games on the pitch. And I think our players, every time this thing happens, we never take the World Cup preparations very seriously. Why? Sometimes, you know, we've tried to analyze it because most times when the World Cup preparation starts, these players are on break. They go on break for 2 months, 1 month. Most times that's when this FIFA preparations come. So we have to be mentally fit. Our FA must prepare the players mentally to let them know that this is a season of qualifiers. So forget about your club, concentrate. I was talking to Finidi George the other day, and I said, hey, Ross, you are part of why we are going to what we're going to. He said to me that immediately they had the FIFA break, most of their players traveled to Dubai. They went on holidays with their family and stayed for a week. Then the following week came to the camp 3 days to the game. How do you handle that? Do you tell the players not to go on holiday? Do we have a structure that controls our players, a structure that makes them believe in the process of this is where we're going. This is the World Cup we need to go to. Then we all need to work towards one goal. And it takes leadership to do that.
You know, every time we have to talk about such stuff, Mr. Peterside, one of the questions that come to my mind is whether or not, maybe I should ask it this way, the impact of Nigeria's football economy on the outcomes that we get. There are many people questioning the processes. I was listening to a clip by one of our internationals. I don't remember. He is, or rather maybe he was, the captain of the team at the time, said he had to take on the NFF president about paying the fellows whose monies were overdue and hadn't been paid, and he kept troubling them for months. He had to put a call through to the president's chief of staff at the time, who facilitated it, and then the NFF came after him, saying that, he didn't do right by them and he embarrassed the NFF and all of that. So if that, happens, perhaps there is a need to review not just the players, but the entire process, because maybe that is the problem here. So, because even if we, by some miracle, as you and Jemilin have discussed, get into the World Cup, then the football economy of Nigeria may still play its game and make nonsense of whatever efforts that have been put into it.
You're absolutely right. We don't have structures. These things are supposed to be structured. Qualifying for the World Cup, I've lived in South Africa for years, and they just qualified for the World Cup, and I've just been following their preparation, what they've been saying, how they've been saying it. They are so ready to go to the AFCON. They are so ready to go to the World Cup. They didn't even have to travel to any country to prepare. They went to Pretoria. Why? They have a center there where players can prepare, athletes, whatever it is. They are structured. Something is not right with this country, I'm telling you. So sometimes it's quite painful when simple things can be done. Absolutely very simple things can be done. Now you are preparing, you have a calendar, you have just like the federal government presented their budget. You know that we're getting into the season of the AFCON, into the season of the World Cup. You prepare your budget, you prepare whatever you desire and present to the government. And again, I don't want to say some things that will put me in trouble here. We need to look in and talk to those people in charge. I've been in situations where there are crazy demands from those in government, those in parliament, those running football behind the scene, making unnecessary demands. So you put a 1 billion request, and when the money comes back to you, it's 600 million. These are deep truths that we need to begin to tell ourselves that if we don't clean up those things. Now, this NFF chairman or whoever is in charge has put in for 1 billion naira and he gets 600 million. He has to cut cuts here. He cuts here, cuts flight ticket, cuts hotel ticket, and gets to the point where he tells the players, see how much we have, we can't pay you X amount. Now, the protest they had in Morocco before, it was so obvious because they had assured the players over 3 months that this money should be ready. This money should be ready. And at the time the money was supposed to be ready, the money came out. But the truth about it is that if they had put in for 5 billion, how much did they get? Who held up the other parts of the money? And you get back to the players, you paid chartered flights, you paid for the hotels, these things must be paid for. And the balance you have in your hand, how do you manage it? You come back to the players and say, please manage this, we'll get another one next time. A lot of things are not right.
I know you did vie for that position, so what would your approach have been?
The same thing I'm telling you, you must have a calendar, you must prepare. Again, I've always said it, you need to have someone that can approach corporate bodies, someone with a flair, somebody that can convince corporate organizations of honesty, of being able to manage your resources. Nobody wants to give you their money and the next day they see you driving a Mercedes-Benz or building a house in Abuja. They want to be able to give you their money and make sure that these monies are well looked after. So we need to go back to that set of it and say, this person running our game, is it transparent enough? Does he have the cloud? He must have the cloud. And when you show up, they say, oh, this man is Ida Peterside, this man is JJ Okocha, this man is so. We know him. He means well for our game. He's not a politician. Therefore, in that, the game becomes the center focus. And as I said, have you not seen how many board members travel for a game? It's unnecessary, absolutely unnecessary. Go to the AFCON as I speak to you. If you have 30 board members from the NFS, the whole 30 members are there. Doing what? Getting extra coats and being paid. How do you pay the players? All of them get their monies before they leave Nigeria. And the players that are supposed to play beg for the monies to be paid. It's something about ethics. People are saying these players are rich. Who made them rich? Their gift and their talents made them rich. Therefore, they must be respected. So you see, you need to clean up. There's a whole lot of things we need to do to get there. Hopefully, my friends are there now, Lakbade and what's his name? running our sports. We hope that they get it right, but we're still struggling. We hope we don't get any information coming up.
You essentially say, Mr. Peterside, that we have a depleted trust quotient with the sporting, with the football authorities in the country. Now, how do we build that back?
It's individual. You have to prove a point. You have to prove a point. Let me ask you a question. It's a candid question. You have $5 billion in your account. You want to invest in sports, and the NFF chairman comes up to you today and says, I need $4 billion. Will you give to him?
Oh dear. He's thinking about it. He doesn't want his money to be used for Kalo.
So that's the challenge. So if someone comes and says, I want to invest my money, it's an investment. Will I get a return? Will I do this? Well, if I put in my money, will I get the advance that I need? And you'll reassure this person, and there's evidence that the money the person has put in there is effective. So we hope so. And again, coming to the Nations Cup, maybe that's where we'll get to next.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming to the AFCON that is going on. We saw Morocco play yesterday. My goodness gracious. They played with a heart. And we saw even the Comoros team side back like they know what they're doing. I don't know when last did we see our national team put in that kind of effort. That's the fear. There's an AFCON going on. No one cares. Nobody wants to know. Who is in the team? Nobody wants to know. Normally, Chamberlain, you would have asked me, what about this? What about this? You would not ask me any question because you don't even know who is there. So
I'm keeping my gunpowder dry.
Well, as we discussed in the first topic, Mr. Peter said, we can have his hope. But Chamberlain will always remind me that hope is not a strategy. So we need that over time. Well, we have to thank you very much for your time this morning, Mr. Peterside. That is former Nigerian international, former goalkeeper, Super Eagles, and he joined us virtually from PH. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me.